Folks, I can think of nobody better to come up to the stage after I just said a joke that bombed than the person you've been hearing all night. He's been on the ones and twos. Everybody get it up for my co-host, Harley Bushdiecker.
This warm weather's been rather nice. Getting outside, just doing like mental health walks, getting that serotonin. While I was doing those walks, I started kind of thinking about shit from my childhood, and so here comes some jokes about that. I went camping a lot as a kid, not just because we were poor and that was the only thing we could afford. $15 tent, but I realized, like, when I had to spend my several weeks with my dad during the summer, when he said we should just go lay low in the woods for a little while, it wasn't because he was trying to chill. It was because he was dealing meth throughout most of Montgomery City. Yeah, spent a lot of time in the woods. Smoked my first weed in the woods. You ever had trees talk to you?
Yep.
It's fantastic, honestly. Trees have offered nothing but wisdom to me. They never disappoint, like my dad did. Yeah, no, when we'd go camping, we'd often go floating. Floating season, it's like a Missouri thing, a Midwest thing, I guess. I just learned that it's like localized. It's not just the whole world.
How does it float?
Yeah, well, I thought like even people in China were like floating, bro. You know what I mean? Just getting on whatever river is out there and just fucking drinking some beer. I thought that's what they do. Turns out that's a mostly Midwest thing. We would go floating a lot. This one time we went floating. It was supposed to be a one-day float. We were just gonna drive there, float, drive back. But then my dad locked his keys in the car. And so we just slept outside for a whole weekend because he didn't want to admit that he had fucked up as a parent and locked those keys in there. It was a good float trip though, actually. That was one of my favorite float trips because I jumped off a cliff for the first time. And by jump, I mean my uncle pushed me off a cliff as I tried to turn away in cowardice, you know? 'Cause this is how every time when you walk up to a cliff, you're like, yeah, I'm gonna fucking jump. And you kind of stand there and you're like, that's pretty high. It's pretty damn high. I mean, I've seen you jump, but like, what if I jump slightly to the left? I don't know. And I was like, no, I'm not gonna do this. And then I turned around and I just got launched off the cliff. It's the kind of family I grew up in. I learned how to swim by getting thrown in a pool. See, no one ever laughs at that one. Not even my therapist. I thought she would laugh for sure. You know, the best part about trying to be a comedian is trying to get your therapist to like your jokes. Seeing if it works. And then I'm like, am I telling my trauma or am I telling jokes? And the truth is, they're the same thing. Let's see. So I found out when I was like 24, getting ready to be 27 now, so it's a little while ago, that I don't like being choked during sex. It's just not my thing, you know? Some people have a kink, that's not my kink. I found out this because this Jersey girl was in Kansas City at a bar I was working, and she somehow convinced me to go back to her hotel, which I now realize I deserve to get murdered for that. Like, I should have absolutely been murdered by that out-of-town girl. She should have at least took like one kidney, like made some money off me or something. I was easily tricked. But when we got there, she was on top, and she just started slapping me and choking me. And like fight or flight kicked in, and I was like, I want to run. Like, I don't want to be here anymore. but she's still choking you. So you're like, well, I'm just gonna stay here and see how this goes. Like, you know, eventually she's gonna stop. She'll get tired of choking me, I imagine. And she did. She got tired of choking me because she started pinching my nipples, which I found out I like even less than getting choked. I literally grabbed her hands and pulled them back up to my throat. I was like, let's just go back to the choking. At least I feel like a warrior going out with an honorable death or whatever. Be better. All right, guys, that's all I had tonight. My name is Harley Bushdiecker. Give it to me.
Oh man. Oh, that's the perfect thing you want to say to yourself after you go to therapy is, I put on a good performance. That is what makes therapy work.